Hello, I am Renegar Graham, the least trustworthy person on the internet, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to talk about anything in the games industry which happens to catch my eye. This week, Sony have pissed me off. Pissed me off big time. Now, before I hear any of your fanboy fucking chatter, I am predominantly a PlayStation fan. I play 90% of my games on PlayStation. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a massive trophy dork. Don't fucking give me it. I don't want to hear Xbox fanboy. I don't even own an Xbox from this generation. I've still got my original fucking Xbox One that sits in the living room and is basically just a YouTube machine. Don't fucking start. So with that out of the way, how have Sony pissed me off again? Well, today, as of the time of recording, they announced that they are increasing the price of the PS5, which is still fucking impossible to find anywhere, by the way, in select markets. This news was relayed to us in a blog post on PlayStation blog, which I will link to below and I will read from right now. So in terms of the increase, President and CEO of SIE, Mr. Jim Ryan, said the following, and I'm going to do my best Jim Ryan impression for this. The global and economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates, as well as adverse currency trends, impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. Based on these challenging economic conditions, SIE has made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price of the PlayStation 5 in select markets across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, as well as Canada. There will be no price increase in the United States. And then after that, the blog post goes on to list what these various price increases are. I'm not going to go through each one of them individually just now. I will talk about a couple of select ones in a moment. Then Ryan goes on to conclude, while this price increase is a necessity given the current global economic environment and its impact on SIE's business, our top priority continues to be improving the PS5 supply situation so that as many players as possible can experience everything the PS5 offers and what's still to come. Thank you for your continued support. Yeah, Jim Ryan, you're putting the price up because you want as many players as possible to be able to experience the PS5. Fuck you. So as you can probably tell, I have some issues with this. I'm going to talk predominantly about the UK market because that's where I am and that's where it directly impacts me. But I just want to do a quick mention to Australia and the Latin American markets that are seeing a price increase. I find that particularly egregious because, as many of you already know, games consoles and games are already fucking ridiculously expensive in Australia and Latin America, particularly countries like Brazil and stuff, where there's just an inordinate amount of tax on consoles that makes them really fucking impossible to obtain. So big double fuck you, Sony, for making it harder for those people to play your games. So in terms of what it means for us here in the UK, the disc version of the PS5 is seeing a £30 increase from $449.99 to $479.99. I have a couple of issues with this. Firstly, back in August 2021, and I'm reading from an article from PC Gamer here, Sony's chief financial officer confirmed that the PS5 was selling at $499 actually at a profit. So if many of you maybe don't know, most game consoles are actually sold at a loss for long periods of their lifespan, and the money is made back through actual game sales and purchases on the platform. For example, the PS3, PC Gamer notes, was sold at a loss for nearly 4 years, whereas the PS4, which done significantly better, was profitable within 6 months of its launch. As PC Gamer explained, what tends to happen is when the console comes out to begin with, the components are expensive, the manufacturing process is not as efficient as it should be. Over time, those prices come down, those costs come down, and eventually the console gets sold for a profit. In August 2021, as I was saying, Sony confirmed that at that stage, the PS5, about 8 months after its launch, was already selling for a profit. So the console was selling for a profit. Now, I appreciate that manufacturing costs and stuff might have gone up with inflation, but it was already selling for a profit. Costs have not gone up that high that you're now going to make a catastrophic loss on it. As I said, consoles often sell for a loss anyway, so making some loss on console sales is not actually an issue. So I don't buy the increased manufacturing costs are a valid fucking reason to increase the price of your console that was selling for a profit. It's just bollocks. That's issue number one. Issue number two is more of an issue that I have with Sony's tactics generally over the course of this console generation so far, and that is their propensity to fucking try and nickel and dime every single one of their consumers for what to them is essentially chump change. I'm talking about things like charging fucking 10 quid upgrade fees between PS4 and PS5 versions of games. A couple of 100,000 people, 500,000 people, whatever, giving Sony $10 to upgrade a game from PS4 to PS5 is nothing to them. It makes literally no difference. They are a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They don't need that money. There is literally no reason. They wouldn't even notice it coming in. It's money that they would have just lost down the back of the couch and wouldn't have noticed that it ever fell out of their pockets. They don't need it. It makes no difference. So why are you fucking nickel and diming us for 10 quid a pop to upgrade a game? The same is true here. The price increase is £30 in the UK. £30. Not enough to make any discernible difference to Sony. Not enough to make it worth the grief for them, I don't think. As I said before, I don't think the console is going to be selling with increased manufacturing costs and material costs at such a catastrophic loss that Sony need to increase the price anyway. But certainly if they're only increasing it by 30 quid, it can't be that bad. It just can't be. Again, multi-billion-dollar corporation, they don't need to nickel and dime people out of an extra 30 quid a head. It makes no fucking difference to them. They're going to make millions and millions and millions of pounds, dollars, whatever, on fucking game sales once people actually get the console, on fucking microtransactions, on people buying fucking V-Bucks for Fortnite on their platform, among other things. They do not need 30 quid a head from people who want to buy a PS5 in the UK going forward. They don't need it. But on the flip side, all of us, myself included, have been hit with ridiculous increased costs of living. Our utility bills have skyrocketed, the cost of fuel keeps going up and up and up to unsustainable levels. We're all struggling, so an extra 30 quid in our pockets actually does make a difference to us. Sony won't fucking notice it. It's so frustrating. What you just don't need to do this. And if I was to get a bit sort of console worry for a minute, you're fucking giving Microsoft an open goal. I fucking bet any money that in the next 24, 48 hours, probably before this video actually gets edited and published, there will be a statement from Phil Spencer that says, we are not planning on increasing our console prices. Get it up, you Sony. It's just so fucking easy. It's so easy. I don't understand what you are doing. You don't need to do it. The extra money that you're going to make off this is going to make fucking no difference to you, but you're going to hurt a lot of people in the UK and, as I mentioned before, in Latin American countries and other regions who their gaming shit is already ridiculously more expensive than it is here. And you know the in some of these countries the average income is much lower as well. It's just fucking bullshit. And yeah, it's a continuance of how Sony have acted for this whole console generation, just trying to fucking wring every last penny out of their loyal fans, and it's bullshit. And I don't want to hear. Do not fucking comment on this video going, oh yeah, but there's inflation and all the manufacturing costs. I don't want to fucking hear it. People need to stop defending billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar corporations as if they're their hometown fucking sports team. I see it on both sides of the fence, all over the place, whatever company it is. You get people fucking doing ridiculous mental gymnastics to try and justify the moves that these companies make. Stop defending corporations that do not care about you, could not give one shit about you at all. Stop it. Just fucking stop. So yeah, it's just bullshit. It's just fucking garbage. I'm tired of Sony. As I say, I play all my games predominantly on PlayStation, like 90% of them. I've been a Sony fan all my life, and honestly, the way they're acting, part of me kind of hopes that Xbox fucking kicks their ass. Part of me hopes because what we're seeing is PS3 era arrogant Sony who is winning. And what happened is Xbox knocked them down a peg or two with the 360 versus the PS3. So what we saw in the PlayStation 4 era was a much more sort of gamer friendly Sony, and now they've went back to just being complete fucking dicks again. So frankly, yeah, I wouldn't mind Microsoft fucking knocking a few lumps off them and putting them back in their place a little bit because yeah, this shit's just not good. It's not good.